Good day, everybody. This is the Ecclesiarch here, back with some more Horus Heresy Legions, and today we're going to be playing a rather forgotten Sons of Horus warlord, which is Tybalt Marr, and that's kind of surprising for me, honestly, because Tybalt Marr is pretty damn good, if you ask me, even now. It's just that you have to utilize a very specific build to make him work, in my opinion. So, whereas you have the standard combo of Malagurst into Planetary Invasion with Abaddon and even Horus sometimes, I think you can utilize Malagurst for something more interesting when it comes to Tybalt Marr. So with Tybalt, I think it's very interesting to actually forget about the whole Planetary Invasion, and instead what you can do is you can go for Blessing of the Four. Now, Blessing of the Four works on Tybalt for two reasons. Well, one is of course Malagurst that can basically cast this for free, which is of course really good. But then there's also the thing that Tybalt Marr has the ability to drop bodies, right? So it puts in play the Ajax squad. And as you guys know, the Ajax squad, every single time that the opponent just removes it, your Blessing of the Four becomes cheaper. That is the primary reason why Blessing of the Four is best utilized on warlords that have ability to summon troops. Like, for example, Corpheiron or Lotara Sarin, right? So, that got me thinking, why not use it on Tybalt Marr? And I did, and actually the results are pretty good, if you ask me. Like, I lost 2 over here, but I had a ton of wins before that, and the only other game I lost against this one was against Apto, and Apto really pulled a clutch seal there to win. With Santar, I think I just couldn't really do anything. Against this Santar, at least, I won against this one. He just really outdid me. And with Virozin, it was very, very close. I was like 1 off lethal. But I think I also made a mistake there. But in general, it was really, really good. So first, let's discuss the deck. And then let's take a look at some of those games and talk about the decisions. Now, first of all, you need a very good curve on this warlord. And you need a very strong early game. Because you need those units dying early on to just ramp up the Blessing of the Four. So I got all of the low-cost, good troops that the Sons of Horus get. You got Legionary Her as well as the Asmodeus squad for that flank removal power. You got the Menatus squad. This is absolutely crazy, if you ask me, this unit, because the amount of damage it can ramp up is crazy. We got the Basat squad, obviously, because of that Mark of Chaos. Chieftain Clathal for the stats and as well as the passive, and Ezraya support for that active as well as the drop pod. And honestly, don't forget that Tybalt Marr also has the ability to give Marks of Chaos to his friendly troops, so that's also a thing there. Now, on top of that, of course, we're holding the anti-stealth, and we do have the Catulan Reavers. Now, Catulan Reavers are a very tricky unit, because not only do they just act as a fast troop that can go face or do removal, they can also be a surprise lethal with Blessing of the Four, because technically speaking, if you drop these guys and give them a Blessing of the Four, which may be very cheap, you have like potential to do around like 9 damage with these guys, which is a lot. For your mid game, you got the Conquering Host, you got Ekron Fal, a copy of Haxur squad, as well as the Overseer Ludark. That should give you strong enough mid game, because those are all very good units that have pretty good tempo and stats. You got 1 hard removal, 1 AoE, as well as double furious shooting to deal some damage. And on top of that, we have 1 copy of Percivan just for finishing off our opponents. We of course have the double Blessing of the Four together with Malagurst, because this is the combo that we're looking to pull off. And of course we got Command Bridge, because without Command Bridge you're not going to be getting the Blessing of the Four more consistently. And Avatar of 4 is a must-have on all Sons of Horus warlords, because this buys you a whole turn, because this is until your next turn, and it's absolutely disgusting. So you need to have this. And of course, one more thing that I have here is the Master Strategist. That's because I kind of discovered that Tybalt Marr can be a little card hungry, so I decided to add that in as well. Now let's take a look at a couple of games that were here, and let's discuss. And actually, one of the games that I would like to watch is Zayota. And the Zayota game was pretty damn close, and I had to really make a big decision here. Now, the first thing that I did wrong, I think, was getting the Crush the Weak. I think I was afraid of the Survivor buff and all of that, but I think that was all a big mistake. So, drops M-Shen right away, which is not good. But, you know, best thing we can do now is just drop our, what's called again? Huckster Squad, right? No, Ajax squads. So he turns into Ekron Fall, which is actually pretty good if you ask me, because you can attack it without much problem, because even if you attack it on the drop pod, it's still gonna revert. So we just do that, very simple, and we just pass the turn. So yeah, I think leaving these high cost cards was a mistake. You usually want to mulligan that to get early game drops as much as you can. So this was actually pretty bad, because I always hate when this unit enters play. So I just decide, I think, to get the Asmodeus squad down. Nope, I do the Death Dealers to remove M-Shen. That's the correct play. Unfortunately, he had anticipated that, so I take 5 damage to my face, and I actually hit it with the 2-2 because he can just remove it for 1 energy, so I didn't want that to happen. And this was a very, very bad situation. So what I do decide to do here is to try the command bridge to see if I can get my informant network, which I do. And that kind of keeps me in the game. Because if I had dropped something like, for example, the Haksur squad, this thing would have just removed it without problem, and it would have been a whole mess. Now he just decides to stun me and drops this bad boy, which is not good, because I can already notice that he's trying to finish me off very early here. So what I do is I do drop a Haksur squad, and on top of that I do the counter attack and drop the what's his face, Menata squad. So that's one of the other things that I decide to play. Unfortunately for me, however, this guy had a very good answer for the Haksur squad, that being the Sword of Truth. And he also had, oh wait, he didn't have, what? Do I remember it incorrectly? Oh no, the thing here, oh yeah, he had the Gaze of the Regent. Okay, never mind that. Did I remember it incorrectly here? Huh. Okay, maybe that happens later. Anyway, so I decide to use the Furious Shooting to just take out this bad boy here. And honestly speaking, I decide to use the Crush the Weak, because I don't want to leave board control for him, because this way we have a 3 HP Haksur squad. But he does the Sword of Truth, and I kind of end up regretting using my hard removal. However, a little gambit that I do in a moment actually ended up paying off. So seeing as I have a very difficult situation, I just drop a Cachulan Reavers, go face, drop an Asmodeus squad. And do I go face? I don't remember if I go face. I don't go face, and I think that is the correct thing here, because look, he plays a Haksur squad for Mark of Khorne, and on top of that, he gets Sigilized Chosen. Now, over here, I do know that the situation is quite dire, because I don't have enough for lethal. However, I do get one little idea. I decide to just swarm the board over here and not even attack with my Asmodeus squads, because in this case, if he's not able to take out all 4, I can just finish him off with a Blessing of the Four. And I also have Cachulan Reavers. Now, the thing is, if he has lethal, of course, then I lose. But this is the best play that I got here, because alternatively, I just have to sacrifice everything in hopes of removing that and just lose anyway. So I decide to attack with this and go face, because I want it to be as low as possible. And he decides to trade, because apparently he did not have the means to kill everything. So unfortunately for me, he just drops this bad boy here, Bodwar Bjarki, and now I have lethal with Blessing of the Four, because guys, just don't underestimate the amount of damage that Blessing of the Four can actually give you, because at least all 4 marks of chaos increase your damage. Even poison increases your damage indirectly, right? So right now I get a total of 11 damage from my troops. So that's like already GG. And we had like 2 damage from Tybalt and 1 from poison on top. Now, another example of when you have to make a clutch decision like that is against Geiger Philhand. So So let me show you what I mean by a clutch decision. By the way, I also make a very big mistake here, and I'm gonna show you what. Of course, you want to leave the Catulan Reavers in your hand because Catulan Reavers are a great way to remove, for example, half down or something like that. This is something you want to play on turn 1 always because this is really good. And he plays Malkial here, which is honestly pretty scary, and I'm not sure if I should have gone to Malkial with the 2-3. I'm honestly not sure. But here's the wrong choice that I make afterwards. So yeah, of course I need to drop the support. That's obvious. So he does the Emperor's Executioners, so nothing too crazy there. But for some reason, I don't know, I had a brain freeze here. I'm not sure what happened, guys, I'll be honest. But for some reason, I decided to shoot this. Because apparently I either messed up and thought it was gonna remove it or whatever, because 100% I had to remove Malkial. I should not have left that. Fortunately for me, it did not give him any like great bonuses. He just played for 4 energy anyway, but that was a super big mistake because you really don't want to do that. Now here's the interesting part though. He decides, I believe, here to use his counterattack, and I think the biggest mistake that he did right now was healing Malkial. He should have healed this because this way I can now play Ekron Fall and attack the Kolbeer Hunters. So I think that was a bit of a mistake. And that's what we do. Unfortunately, it gets a Mark of Khorne because that's like the one that I wanted here the least. But now the Malkial comes into action. So take a look. If I had taken this out, then this would not be in play right now. So just because of one misplay, I'm already falling like quite behind. Just gotta say that. So he just goes face as he should. So in this case, I think I decided enough is enough. So I just dropped my Catulan Reavers. I do the command bridge actually, and that was another one of the stupid moves that I made because first you command bridge, then you drop a unit. You never know what you're getting. I also decided to attack the 2-3 in case he wants to hit my face and not trade it. Unfortunately for me, he does play the Curse of the Wolfen then, going face on top, which is pretty scary, and then he also plays another one of those bad boys. Takes 4 damage to the face, which is okay, but now he has more board control. So what I decide to do here, I top deck Death Dealers. Fortunately, that's really good. So I just play the Death Dealers. And I have to, of course, go face. I take out the 4-1 in hopes of making my 2-3 very strong. It gets a Mark of Khorne, which is not that good, but it also gets a Mark of Nurgle, which is perfect. So a 4-5 with poison is really good. Unfortunately, he does play the Underverse, getting a lot of those things. So right now, what he can do, he just attacks there. He just uses his ability, and now doesn't feel too good, right? So I decided to do a little bit of a clutch move here. So I just played a Malagurst into Blessing of the Four. So the thing is, like, you usually want to use this to buff other troops, and if he had like hard removal, I would be done for. But this is a warranted risk because in case he doesn't have anything, this is just gonna win the game, right? So you should not be greedy with it. If you have the ability to drop a 11-12 friggin' Malagurst, just do it, right? So, of course he goes face, and that's what he's supposed to do right now. And I'm very low, but fortunately I know that he has wasted at least one of his Emperor's Executioners. So instead of like playing Overseer Ludark, I just decide to drop this on him, just play another Ajax squad, and just go with 11-12 on face. There you go. And voila! In this case, he just attacks Malagurst because apparently he just didn't get anything to deal with it. So, there we go. So sometimes, guys, you don't need to have a swarm on your board to play this correctly. Of course, we're going to take a look at some of the losses as well, but first I want to take a look at some of the games that we played here. Against Proctor, guys, is not really interesting because you counter him a lot, I think, with this faction in general. So Ascalon was not interesting at all. Dreygur was okay, but let's watch the Nikona Sharrow pin match. This was actually pretty scary because this was back when I did not have anti-stealth in this deck, which was very stupid because I had forgotten that I needed to have that. So that's what we do. Now, don't ever do a counterattack into Passat or something. That's stupid. So I just drop a 2-2. We don't need to rush into anything here. Now I can play the Passat squad, right? Now I can play the Passat squad, and in the case of Nikona Sharrow, you don't really want to go face yourself, but you want to be attacking with the troops. So obviously here I was waiting for him to do some bikes, but fortunately for me he did not do that. He just goes invisible, which is understandable, and I just play the Ezraya support, I believe, and I just pass. He opens them up and does a guerrilla warfare, and that guerrilla warfare just annihilates my board. I know it's probably sometimes frustrating when that happens. I can feel it, but there's like Conquering Coast coming in, so I just drop it, which is of course pretty good because this is a lot of damage. Even without Blessing of the Four, this is a lot of damage. He plays another guerrilla warfare, and I take another 3 damage to the face, unfortunately. But hey, now I got 2 of these bad boys on the board, so that's nice. And I do get Overseer Ludark, and Ludark is gonna get super buffed. And of course I decide to go face with these bad boys because what? I think I should have gone with the second one as well, I'll be honest. I think I should have gone with the second one as well. So he uses another jam, and he does this, and he takes out... Oh, he goes face. That's a mistake. I decide to hold off on the Blessing of the Four for now. This could have been a lot of damage, but I want to keep it as a surprise. So what I just do is I just go face here, leaving a lot of my units on the board. And I even go with Furious Shooting to just make him feel a little scared. For example, if he leaves this board right now, there's gonna be a very good Blessing of the Four. However, he of course understands that that's a bad idea, so he starts removing stuff. That was a bit annoying, I'm not gonna lie. I remember that I was slightly annoyed by that. Now, I could have used the Avatar of the Four, but I was thinking to myself, like, what if I start losing the game? I will need that Avatar of the Four to just save myself. So I just decide to drop the units. He drops the 3-5. He drops that, and he goes invisible, right? Nope, he drops another one of those things. So here it's actually a little bit scary because he's got some serious board control over there, but he also decides to go face. And that actually made me a little bit happy because that was pretty risky right there. So I decided to drop a couple of things on him. Just get a Mark of Chaos. And with this, I think I go face. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. I should have gone face, I think. Or maybe it's not a mistake. I don't know. Well, I mean, it did pay off in the end, so... Okay, he played the Fury. I think this is exactly when the guy messed up. And he even goes face, I think, which is absolutely not warranted here. Because he's putting himself in dangerous territory and even not attacking with this. So right now, I do have the Catulan Reavers. And I play the Blessing of the Four, and you know how that goes, guys. You know how that goes. That's already a GG right there, because there's gonna be a ton of damage. Oh my god, look at this. Oof, oof. That's a lot of damage. Scary. And let's also take a look at the game against the Santar that we won, and then let's take a look at some of the losses as well. So against this Santar, everything went really well. Ekron Fall you usually want to leave in your hand because this is a very good 5-drop. The other Santar, with the other Santar, my problem was my deck. I had drilling sights and no card draw, and I just ended up running out of cards, and I lost. So that's why you never really want to That's why you never really want to be doing that. He does a Cadmiax at the start of the game. I always hated when they use that card because I know that like hell is coming. So I drop Chieftain. I attack there. And I should have gone face. 100%. And right here, this guy does a very questionable thing. I just don't get what the hell he did here. Oh, okay, sorry. My bad. I didn't remember that he did that because I was as much surprised on when he did that during that turn. But now I have the Asmodeus squad and he has just given me a free Mark of Chaos. By the way, if you're thinking of playing Tybalt with the mission, just don't. This is the better way. Just play with Blessing of the Four. You don't really need to play with the mission. He plays the Iron Salvo. Kaboom. Now here, honestly, you can play either Ekron Fall or Haxur Squad. Doesn't really matter, honestly. Because Haxur Squad is a good play because you can follow up with Overseer Ludark. And Ekron Fall is a good play because it's Ekron Fall. It's 5 energy, 6/6 drop pod that gives flank to your drop pods as well over here. Now, if I had gotten the Mark of Slanesh, it would have been really good, but unfortunately I didn't, so I'm just gonna have to trade this bad boy here. Just gonna whack it. And gonna go face. Why am I not going face? Stop playing it like a little bitch. What the hell is wrong with me? I should be going face. I hate myself sometimes. I totally have to be going face there. Don't take an example for me. I'm supposed to be going face there. Ekron Fall. So now playing Ekron Fall is another mistake, honestly, because since I'm gonna be getting a Mark of Chaos anyway. Oh, so I risked and I wanted to see if it hit Ekron Fall. And since I have like the Ecclesiarch luck or Teacher's luck, as you guys know it still hit here. So whatever, it paid off. I think he plays another Iron Salvo there, right? And he plays Cadmiax and, you know... Oh, he doesn't. What? Why did I remember he played Cadmiax? Okay, never mind. So, Haxur Squad. Smack. There we go. Go face. Thank God. I think he gave up here, right? Yeah. He actually gave up here. So that was like a very simple way of taking board control with a very nice curve. Now, let me tell you one other problem that I had when I placed this Gabriel Santar. Now, I just want to... yeah, this drilling site kind of ruined it for me as well, but I just want to stress my point why I hate that Iron Hands card. So let me actually show you what I mean here. I think you'll get what I mean in a second. It's not hard to guess what made me very, very salty here. So, you know, just a normal game going, nothing too serious. He just plays a removal. Nothing too crazy, just the normal game going on. And, you know, okay, not yet. So there, let me tell you why I'm just going fast forward here. This wasn't even like a very interesting game. It's just that I wanted to show you what is very, very annoying. Just for me. So, unfortunately, if I had actually had the thing here, what's it called again? Blessing of the Four, we could have smacked the guy, but this is the problem right now that I have, honestly. So he plays Cadmiax and instantly, kaboom. This motherfucker right there, right? I swear to God, if I had a coin for every single time these fuckers get either this or the Hammer Bearers from Cadmiax, I don't know. I friggin' hate that card, man. It's so friggin' annoying, like... And this is pretty much where he actually ends up swinging the game. I think the correct play for me was to just go face and try my best to just win the game, but unfortunately, you know, I just ended up running out of cards, so... He still had the means to take this, so now I was just playing without cards. So this was nothing very super interesting. I just wanted to rant about Cadmiax a little bit. In total, I really like the new Iron Hands, but that card is absolute cancer. Now, let's actually take a look at the game against Meros Vairosian. Oh my god. Ozzy taught me how to call that thing, and I forgot. Vairoj. Okay, let me see how it's written.
Listen to the cacophony.
Vairosian or something like that. Okay, whatever. Please, in the comments, tell me how that name is said. Until then, I'm gonna call it Vairosian or Vairosian or whatever. So in here, actually, I had a very nice start, and I'll tell you where I think I made a small mistake. There's a couple of mistakes that I actually make here. So start is very, very good because you instantly get 2 charges on your Basat squad, which is really good. But here's the small mistake that I get. I get very greedy, and I neglect the fact that the enemy is a stun based warlord. So what I decide to do is I just pass. I don't attack with this. I think I should have attacked with this because getting a greater demon against a faction that has stun and disorient isn't really that much of a great idea. So now I get a greater demon, and that greater demon I think even ends up being like something that cripples me a little bit. And I even made a mistake of not dropping Legionary Her here, because I would have increased the targets for him. Fortunately for me, I get very lucky on the first one. So I just decide to, you know, go face, because I got a friggin' 16-12 on the board. Unfortunately for me, however, what happens here is that he drops a Luminal and takes this out instantly, and I'm already in a kind of a sticky situation here. That sticky situation being that he has the board control now. All because I just didn't play well, and I decided to get a little greedy with my Basat squad, which is not good. So over here, what I actually still decide to do is just to push going face, which I think wasn't too bad, honestly, considering like you have a ton of nukes with Sons of Horus. So I don't think this was a bad play. This was actually a pretty okay play, honestly, to go face there. Unfortunately for me, however, this does end up going south in the end. So he does that. He just, you know, whacks us over here, stuns us, and now we got a problem. The problem here being that there's a very simple problem, actually. The problem is that we don't have the lethal. We need the Perseverant or the Command Bridge, but it's not coming. Of course, we have the Furious Shooting that I'm just gonna use, because in this case, the second Furious Shooting can also take him out. But unfortunately for us, that's really not gonna be the case. So he just goes there, he just gets more Marks of Chaos. And of course he keeps stunning me. That's what he's supposed to be doing, honestly. That's the correct play. Now over here I can already notice that the guy has lethal. So the best thing that I can do here is just drop a Ludark just to distract him. And I just play Avatar of the Four because I want to survive one more turn. But unfortunately for me, we really don't get anything here. It's actually pretty funny that we end up getting the Death Dealers in the end. So the thing here is that if I had attacked with that Basat squad early, first of all, I would have had lethal damage towards the end of the game, and second of all, maybe I would get the Greater Demon and still hold the initiative in the game. So I think I very technically threw that game with a very bad mistake. Actually, with Alexis Polux, it was also a very interesting game, so let's take a look at that. Now, I don't know what came over me to leave Overseer Ludark in my hand. Sometimes I like leaving these very cool legendaries for myself, but problem is they just cost too much. With this kind of a warlord, you need to change these things. Now that I'm looking at these games, I've done a ton of mistakes, I'll be honest. Now, this was a very good top deck, because now I can just buff it with Mark of Chaos. I didn't even need Death Dealers, but Death Dealers I guess can be justified because Imperial Fist are a swarm type of deck, so there you go. Here he drops Sergeant Amand. I wasn't really too happy about this, I'll be honest, because this was the only thing that could stop the onslaught from the Chieftain here. So, you know, just doing the standard stuff. Gonna do the Furious Shooting and just gonna play some of my Ajax squads, so nothing too crazy. At 4 energy, I think he just drops a Gorhagen squad, I think. I don't remember what he does here. Nope. He drops that bad boy and he takes out 4-2, which makes a lot of sense. Now here, honestly, I had a couple of choices, but what I decided to do was just play the Basat squad and buff it twice, because if you buff it twice, there's a big chance of it getting HP, and if it gets HP, then you're doing pretty well. It unfortunately didn't get a lot of HP, but the turret didn't hit the target, so I think it was an okay risk. It wasn't something that would ruin the game for me, so I'm fine. This was actually pretty interesting, because in this case, it's very warranted to get your Greater Demon. So what I decided to do here is just play Overseer Ludark, and let me show you one very interesting interaction that we got there, right? So, of course, you need to attack first to get the maximum value, but take a look at this. This turns into a Greater Demon, but this also buffs the Greater Demon because it used to have a Mark of Chaos before that. I believe that's the interaction there. So, now here, honestly, I do make a little bit of a questionable choice. Questionable choice in a sense that you mostly don't want your Greater Demons to be stunned, because if you do that, I think it's not like that great, because you end up with low energy. And here, what I actually decide to do is not go with the Legendary her and take this out for another Mark of Chaos, which I think is another mistake. I got a little greedy, but then again, I was looking at my hand. I had like lethal cooking, so I just decided to not do that. But I still think that was a little bit of a mistake. There's a lot of mistakes. This is when I used to have double copy of Death Dealers in the hand, so don't mind that. I don't use it now anymore. So we just go face, put him down to the range of the Lupercal Percivant. Now he has to take this out, but unfortunately I guess he just didn't have anything to play there, so he just has to lose. There's no other way there. So just symbolically he takes that out, and I just take him out with the Greater Demon. Now that I look at it, there's a lot of mistakes that I'm doing here, and doing mistakes with this faction and this Warlord is not very good, because it can very easily cost you the game. Because Sons of Horus, I think, are the faction that can pay very dearly for doing certain mistakes over when they play, because they should not lose tempo or make like dumb plays anyway. So with Narik Dreygur, actually, I think it was a pretty interesting game as well. Let's take a look at this one. Once again, this is the time, I think, when I don't have Command Bridge. I just switched a couple of things. Leaving Huxer squad is okay, as considering like it's only 5 energy and you get to 5 energy pretty soon. So what actually surprised me here was that this guy started off with this, and I thought that that was not a good idea, because then I could have dropped the Basat squad. But funny enough, let's roll a little forward. Funny enough, he had another one. So, you know, that went well for him. But fortunately for me, right now he's playing very passive. He's just generating stuff. So I just decided to summon a unit. You could argue that counterattacking into Huxer squad was the way to go, but in that case you would not trigger the spear tip. So that's why another reason why Drilling Sight isn't really that good on these guys. But now I do have a very good play, because I can drop that Huxer squad, get a Mark of Chaos, and I can give it another Mark of Chaos using Tybalt Marr's special ability. I think it turns it into a, yeah, I remember correctly, 8-6. So having an 8-6 already on the board is super good. He makes a very nice play. He drops the Ancient Rend, which he actually chose, which is smart, honestly, because that stun is very useful. Right now, of course, I'm gonna be dropping Overseer Ludark because whenever you have another unit with Mark of Chaos, the value that this thing gives is crazy. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people playing Infiltration Mission these days, and my Ludark gets kind of cocked. And my 9-1 also gets removed. But fortunately, hey, Ludark is still a 5-4, so go figure. Next, we just play a Haxur squad and drop another Ajax squad. So in some of these games, like guys, you can notice how easy it actually is with this faction to kind of take over the game if you have like initiative on your side. So yeah, there you go. That's an example. Now here I just decide to drop the Conquering Coast. And do I... Nope, I don't go with my face. I think I actually drop another drop pod here, right? Yep. I don't mind the trade because I got Blessing of the Four, and Blessing of the Four can absolutely just crush him here. He does play that, which unfortunately for him is not gonna be all that useful because now I can actually play the Catulant Reavers and I can play Blessing of the Four, and this is like, I think, a lethal... is this a lethal even? Let's check. I don't think this is a lethal, but this is already worthy of him just forfeiting the game. 12, no, not even 12. That's 12-8. I had a lethal here. Oh my god, yeah. I had a lethal. Yeah, I just missed lethal. Well, it's fine. I mean, it's a one game anyway because there's no way he's surviving. There's just no way he's surviving, but I did miss lethal there. I think I had a complete lethal. Yeah. Oh yeah. No video is complete without a missed lethal. And finally, let's watch the game that we lost against Apto. So against Apto, and Mshen on top from this guy as well. We just drop a 2-2 Ajax squad. He plays that, which is super annoying, I guess, but not really much that we can do there. He's just cycling. At this point, I just feel like summoning more of these guys. That's the best I can do because I can keep getting my Blessing of the Four. He opens this up. He uses Mshen, I think, here. And he actually decides to show this unit. This was very surprising for me, honestly. I just didn't expect that to happen. But he had another one, so there's that. What do I do here? I don't remember what I do here. This is the stupidest... What the fuck did I just do? Okay, people, there was literally no reason to do that. I guess I was afraid of taking potential 10 damage, but bro... Yeah. That was a degenerate move. I deserve to lose this, man. I absolutely deserve to lose this. If I had kept that card, I would have won this. Telling you, man, telling you. This is like... My freaking god. What the literal hell am I doing? Well, I mean, that's good. We're learning how not to play as well, so... It's always good to learn how not to make mistakes. So I play a Haxur squad. Pretty obvious. And there you go. That's what he had actually targeted. Then I do Furious Shooting. I give Haxur squad another Mark of Chaos, with the hopes of him not being able to remove that. But there's a Sword of Truth. These guys really love playing Sword of Truth on my Haxur squads. So what happened here again? Nothing really. He just keeps trying to keep this alive. I don't know why. I just Conquering Coast and whack this. Yeah, man. That was degenerate as hell. Makes me sad, honestly. Yeah, Prometheus was pretty bad there for me because that kind of killed my Blessing of the Foreplay. I could play Malagurst to crush the weak. If I don't do that... The heck am I doing? Okay, looks like I gave the guy like a bazillion chances to win the game. I had so many good chances to swing this game around. What the hell am I even doing? I don't understand what I'm doing here. Like, what the fuck? Well, I mean, at least I got this Malagurst play, which is nice. That's okay, but I should have already had the Malagurst on the friggin' board. Why did I not do that? Jesus, man, yeah, I guess like I should have had 2 less losses than I actually did. And here, he's also honestly making a mistake. Like, why the hell is he hitting Malagurst? He should have just gone face. Like, what would I have been able to do anyway? Like, there's another mistake that I actually made because I could have played Blessing of the Four and taken this out with this, but I guess that's a forgivable mistake because if it didn't get lethal here, I would have just won. But oh my god, that was so stupid of me. Well, I mean, I can... What the hell? This was a shameful display. This is how you throw a game, guys, by the way. This is how you throw a game. Just like I threw the game against Vairosian, this is how I threw a game here. So, technically speaking, if we hadn't played like shit, we would have only had 1 loss. And we would have only had victories. That kind of shows that the deck is good. I mean, it's fun, it's effective. I think it can certainly be played around like in the 3000 department. I'm not sure how this would do against the meta decks, but certainly pretty okay in this rank for sure. And it's, you know, it's different. If you're tired of seeing the same shit with planetary invasion and so on, just play Blessing of the Four. It's a cool combo and a nice concept. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching the video, and Ecclesiarch out.